record on my computer. Okay, peeps, we are going to talk about 10 ways to start your gig today. And so I'm going to do this as a quick presentation, and I'm going to go ahead and use my PowerPoint that I made up. So give me a second here for me to pull this up for you. There we go. And let's go back to the beginning. Bring you up on a screen share. Slideshow. Oops, let's do that. Slideshow from the beginning. Okay. Okay, that's me, as you can see. I'm going to move my toolbar over too for you guys, so hopefully won't be in the way. Okay, so I want to welcome you tonight to the presentation. I think that, I know that Crystal, you've been in for a while, and Eileen, this is your second time gigging with Tupperware, but even if some of these things are going to be helpful for you, I think that this presentation is even more helpful for a new consultant who just doesn't know how to get things going. And so if you're bringing people into the business, this is also a really great, I think, a really great training for them to listen to, because sometimes they just don't know where to go, particularly if they don't yet have parties in their book. We know that the very best way to build our business is through parties. And I will agree that while we probably shouldn't be calling them parties anymore because it just sounds dated and it sounds difficult, but the live event is really what drives our business forward. So part of what I'm going to address on the gigging is how to get us in front of people with our product, even if we're not doing it at those in-home events to begin with. So let me go ahead. Oh, of course, my page down doesn't want to work now. There we go. So we have a holiday hustle happening right now. A lot of our consultants are coming in and they want to get some extra cash for the business. And so I would say to each and every one of them, and you guys included, what exactly is it that drives you to want it in the business, right? Because there's lots of different things that we can teach you, but really it's up to you to put it into effect. So as a new consultant, you can learn this way, right? You can come on to the Zooms, you can go to your rallies, you can go ahead and get on conference calls. Of course, Tupperware has tons of resources available for you to learn your craft and to understand how the products work. And the very best way to learn anything, of course, is through experience. And while we can provide all of that for you, the want behind it is really what's going to drive you. You can know everything. You can be that person who goes to every single meeting and attends every single Zoom and really gets it and maybe even can teach other people. But unless you attach that to a why of your own, you'll find that you don't make things happen. It's really when your why is strong enough to propel you forward that all of that training really works for you, and it does what it's intended to do, and that is to actually build a business. So before we go any further, I would strongly encourage you to reconsider what is your why, to revisit it and say to yourself, what is it that keeps me in Tupperware? What is it that brought me to Tupperware? What is it that I really want? And what am I willing to do to get it? Am I willing to sometimes stretch a little outside of my comfort zone to get it? Am I willing to do things that I haven't done before to make that happen? Because, sometimes what we've always done, even if it always worked before, doesn't mean it's working now. I know that, there's been many times where my business personally and as a business leader has had to evolve because what I used to do that used to work doesn't work anymore. And so we have to be willing to be aware of that and really think about, is my why strong enough? Am I really identifying what it is that I want or what I want this business to provide for me? And am I willing to do something with all of the information that's been given to me to make that happen in my business? Your story is what's going to bring you to your why, whatever your personal situation is. Some people are just making ends meet. Some people are working for retirement. Some people are trying to get a nest egg set up. Some people just want to get out of the house. But knowing your why and knowing your story and really getting in touch with it for yourself is really going to provide the inspiration for you to move forward. And I'm a big believer that you really can't be motivated. I think you can be inspired, but I don't believe that you can be motivated. Motivation is something that only comes after the action. And I know that kind of seems backwards, but if you think about the times that, you've been, quote, motivated, it's generally because you've really been inspired. You've seen something that makes you want to go out and work. That's not motivation, that's inspiration. When you see somebody that's successful or has earned a trip or has made, $250 on a $1,000 party or is trying this new cold brew survey thing and it's working for them, you are inspired to go out and do that. And then when you do it and you get a result, now you're motivated. And so it's important to know that your why is the inspiration that gets you to take the action that then in turn is motivating for you. I think too many people wait to be motivated, quote, motivated. And, you get up in the morning and you're tired, you're not motivated. But if you're inspired, you'll take the action and that becomes motivating to you. I think somebody just came on, and so I just want to pause for a hot second. If you just came on, if you could let me know who you're with. I see a dial-in number with an 813, and I'm just trying to make sure that I get a look at everybody that was
it's
here.
Ursula.
Who is it?
It's Ursula with Robin.
Hi, Ursula. Okay, is that
Hello.
Ursula?
Yes.
Okay, thanks, Ursula. So I have Crystal and Ursula and Eileen, and if anybody else is on, please let me know so I can get your name as well. Okay, so now we're going to talk about your holiday hustle and, some ways, about 10 ways that you can really get that going. And again, this is kind of designed for a new consultant, but I really believe that some of these ideas are going to be great for you guys if you're existing consultants. And also, if you are bringing consultants into the business, this is a really good training for you. Ursula, if you don't mind me asking, when did you join the business?
About 7 years ago, I guess.
Okay, great. Okay. So first and foremost, of course, the best way to get your holiday hustle going, to get your business going, is to use your products that you have in your kit, right? To get to know the products that you have, because these were not picked on accident. There was a reason that all of these things made it into the business kit or into the holiday hustle kit. And so it's important that we're familiar with them and that we fall in love with them, because our enthusiasm for those products is contagious. Now, that said, while all of these products are very important and they're certainly useful and they're certainly key products, it's also important for you to have your own product wish list, because when I say that enthusiasm is contagious, I really mean it. I mean, we have products in the kit. Let's go back for a hot second. We have products in this kit that I absolutely love, like the Power Chef and the Chop and Prep and the Ultra Pro. Oh my goodness. But there's several products that are not in these kits that are also very near and dear to me. And so it's important that I have those products so that I can use them and my enthusiasm will then be contagious. So I'll give you a great example. The Stack Cooker, which happens to be the welcome offer this month, that is a key product. And it's something that you really want to have, because it's not something that people would just pick up not knowing about it, right? But if you have it, you'll use it and you will find that you will love it, and it's worth so many other products because it does so many things. And so that enthusiasm will bleed into sales and datings for you, because you're going to talk about it because you're using it. So of course, get comfortable with the products that are in your kit, but even more importantly, find products that are relevant to you and products that you will love, because when you really love something, you will share it, and you will share it honestly and authentically. And when that happens, that will really transpose for you into sales and, of course, datings. Number 3, of course, is always be advertising. Now, we have catalogs and we have flyers, and I think that people are probably having them with them, but it's so important that you're always prepared. Like a business card is kind of passe these days. You know, people don't keep business cards. I will tell you, I will hold on to a catalog though until I die. So if somebody gives me a catalog and it's got the consultant's name on it, then, you know, I have a very good chance of going back to that consultant, or even a brochure. I have a really good chance of going back to that consultant because I don't want to throw that out because it's got pretty pictures, and, you know, we pay marketing a lot to do that. So making sure that you have these things, that they're well labeled with your information, is important. I personally use a, you know what, I'm gonna walk away for a second so I can show you the sticky note that I use. Hold on for a hot second. Okay, I used to just use a Post-it note for a long time, and you can absolutely just use a Post-it note. But somebody gave me these, so I'm going to go off share for a second so you can see me. Give me a second. Here we go. Stop share. Okay, so I used to take a sticky note and put them on my catalogs. And the reason I put a sticky note on the catalog is because I know that I can hand out catalogs all day, but a lot of times people won't call me, you know, with what they want. I get a lot of catalogs in the mail. I always say if Pottery Barn would call me, I would probably order from them, right? Because I have a lot of things marked in the Pottery Barn catalog that I may never, ever, ever, ever buy. But if Pottery Barn called me and was like, hey, you got your eye on anything? I'd be like, oh, hold on, let me get my catalog. But so I used to put sticky notes on my catalogs and on my flyers, and I would just say when I was handing it out, so listen, all my information is on here, and I promise not to stalk you, but if you could just jot down your information on here, I will follow up with you within the week. That's all I say. If you could just jot down your information, I promise not to stalk you. I'll follow up with you within the week. And the reason I put the sticky note on there, of course, is because I want to remember to ask for her information. And if I don't have a little Post-it note on there, I'm not going to remember. So a blank sticky note will do that, but somebody, some really awesome business leader up here by me, had these things made up, and they're basically little lead cards, but they're on sticky notes. So even if you don't have them on sticky notes, you could use your lead sheets, you know, the lead sheets that you have that you use maybe at vendor shows and that sort of thing. It just has the information that you want from them, their name, address, their phone number, their email. It says, what's the best way to contact you, text, phone, or email? And then it asks 5 simple questions. And it's, would you be interested in a monthly e-letter, information on fundraisers, information on earning free Tupperware, sales and specials, or earning an extra $1,000 a month? Yes, no, or I can be bribed. It's perfect. So I do have lead sheets that look like this, and I will be happy to send those, put those into the fast track thing. Crystal, I have you on Facebook now, so I could send it to you directly, but I know that all of you probably already have lead sheets that your business leader is working with, and those would work as well. The trick is to stick them to the front of the catalog. So use a piece of tape, you know, staple it if you want to, but make sure that you are putting out with your catalog something to remind you to collect information from the person that you're coming in contact with. Otherwise, you might as well just drive down the road and put them out the window, because I'm telling you, it does not come back to you if you don't have a way to follow up with that customer. Okay, let me go ahead and go back to the share. Okay, all right, so so we talked about advertising. And I'm going to get to Facebook in a little bit on this too. So, but that's just with our brochures. Make catalog browsing fun. This is fun. I know you guys, again, have been in for a little bit, but, and you know, honestly, now that I think about this probably would be good for you too, because I think that once you're in for a while, sometimes you forget to go back to the people that are just right around you, right? Right in your T-zone, right in front of you and right on the side of you. And so, but as a new consultant or as an existing consultant, you could hand a catalog to anybody and they're going to find something new in there that they did not know that Tupperware had. Because let's face it, Tupperware continues to reinvent itself, right? So that's a really fun way to kind of re-educate people. And what I would say is when I hand out the catalog, if I was a new consultant, I would say, you know, there's a lot of new stuff in here, and I'm interested in knowing what it is that catches people's eye or what it is that surprises people. So do me a favor, if you've got 5 minutes, just take a look through the catalog and tell me what you see in there that you didn't know Tupperware had. And you could do that as an existing consultant. You could do that as a new consultant. But what a great way to start the conversation and to know where to start it. If somebody comes to you and says, I didn't know they had this. Is this really true? This is like regular cookware? Or I didn't know they had this. When did they start making thermoses? It kind of starts the conversation, because let's face it, if they noticed it, it's probably something that's relevant to them. If you've been on my trainings before, I use that word a lot. It's important that we're speaking to people in terms that are relevant to them, that we're talking about products that are relevant to them and that will make a difference in their life. And so whatever it is that sticks out to them is probably something that struck a nerve for a reason. So making that catalog browsing fun is good. And it's also really, look, even if with that customer, it doesn't stand out to you, wouldn't it be fun to pass those catalogs out and have the surprise that people are like, I never knew Tupperware made that Shapo toy. I've seen that toy a million times. Or like, if you see a common thread in what they're seeing, you know that those are the products that you need to capitalize on. Okay, this is a really good challenge. Look, you guys can do this. It doesn't matter how long you've been in Tupperware. This is a great thing. Doing a 5-day work challenge is super fun. And what you do is, if you work outside the home, you'll do it like right on your lunch break. If you don't work outside the home, you can still do it live. And you could also do it at dinner time. And that is 5 days in a row. If you're in your office, let's say you are working outside the home, you're literally going to, at lunch every single day, do something in your Tupperware. You're going to make a frittata. You're going to make egg salad with a chop and prep. You're going to make, banana nut bread in your I'm trying to say, breakfast maker. Anything. You're going to do your meal prep ahead of time in your Lunchable containers. But you're going to actually consciously focus on a different product every single day. And I'm not necessarily saying that you have to prepare something crazy. That's actually another slide. But you're just going to every single day be introducing something different at your workplace. Now, let's say you don't work outside the home. I would challenge you to do the 5-day work week challenge from your house at dinner time online. So when the Stack Cooker is the Say Yes offer, I start the month with every single day, what did I make for dinner today? And so they see on my VIP page, they see that, the first day I made rotisserie chicken, and another day I made fajitas, and another day I made, white chicken chili, and another day I made, whatever else. Oh, the Stack Cooker meal. That's always a fun one. And so they can see all the different things that you're making in the same exact product. Like, it's cool to show different products, but I'm going to tell you that if you're going live on Facebook, if you find a relevant product, something that's important this month, right, again, the Stack Cooker is the welcome offer, so that's relevant this month. Last week and this week, the host bonus was the pressure cooker. That also, what a great 5-day work week challenge that would be. But even if it's not something that's on special or part of the host program, if I started next week and I did the pressure cooker Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and every single day I said, okay, today I did chicken noodle soup, and tomorrow I did the chili, and the next day I did the roasted, you can roast a chicken, by the way, in the pressure cooker. It's fantastic. And maybe you do pulled pork on another day. Maybe you do the Reese's cup cake on another day. Wouldn't it be a great Friday dinner, the Reese's cup cake? Anyway, I know you guys are on mute, but I'm sure you're cheering with me. Anyway, so if you did something in the pressure cooker every single day, if you had that, now by the last day, you'd have to be blind, deaf, and dumb to not want that pressure cooker, right? And they can take it as a half-off item. They can earn it free when they host a show. And so you're just creating more of a desire, and you're not like, oh, look, squirrel, look at this, look at this, look at this. You're like, no, look at this. Look at this one thing and how amazing it is and how versatile it is and how you need it in your life, okay? So the 5-day work week challenge is a really great thing. Number 6, ask a friend to do something little for you. Maybe you give her a Fridge Smart. One of my favorite things to do is to hand somebody a Fridge Smart. And I have to tell you, when they're on sale, I like to pick them up, because then when I'm going to date parties, I can literally go to a show and bring a few Fridge Smarts and say, by the way, I really love it when my host tries the Fridge Smarts going into the show. So if you decide that you want to date tonight, I'm going to send you home with a small, deep Fridge Smart, and I'd like you to put something in it so you can take it out the day of the show and show everybody how it lasted. Okay. But asking a friend to try a product holy cow, are you kidding me? They're going to love that product, right? And people that love products tend to tell people about the products that they love. I've seen a lot of folks say, oh, will you post something on your page? Well, it's great if she lets me post something on her page, some sale item, but how much better is it when she tries the Fridge Smart, she loves it, and you say, okay, do me a favor, would you post that on your page that you tried it and you loved it? How much more credibility does it have when it comes from a consumer rather than a consultant? So much better, right? Another thing you can ask a friend to do is to do a survey demo with you. Just have a couple of friends over and do one of our surveys. There is an entire file of surveys. I didn't make any of them. They're fantastic, every one of them. There's a stack cooker survey, there's a chop and prep survey, there's now a cold brew survey, there's a Fridge Smart survey, there's all kinds of surveys. And so when you do a survey party, you basically bring that star product, whatever survey you're doing, and occasionally I'll do more than one survey. Like I'll do, let's say I'm doing the pressure cooker, but I'm also going to bring the Fridge Smarts too, so I can do a survey on those two products. I'll demonstrate it and they'll do the surveys on those things, and they get, something basic like smidgets and citrus peelers, tiny treasures, that kind of thing for participating in the survey. But what is it? It's a show, right? It's a demo, okay? You're going to make something for them. It's going to be a recipe. You're going to be bright and brief and gone. That means from the time you walk in to the time you leave is an hour at the very most, because you're going to get there a little before and you're going to leave a little after the guests. So it's very, very quick. But survey demos are a great way to get in front of consumers that you never would have. And people want to be heard, right? They want their opinion heard. They want to be able to say, oh, I love this because blah, 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 blah. And it'd be better if you had it, and they're going to tell you it'd be better if you had it in a different color. That's my very favorite thing. Anyway, so the survey thing is powerful because it's not a quote party, but it is an opportunity for us to get in front of people, even if we're not calling it a party. Another thing is, of course, utilize your own home, your own workspace, and invite people over. Have them over for brunch, have them over for dinner, and use the products. A brunch is a really easy thing. And you know what? The weather's turning. I think some of you are in the South. I know Eileen said that she's down in Texas. So I don't know if it ever gets cold down there, but I'm going to tell you, when the weather changes in our temperate climates, it's really nice to have a nice warm brunch at your girlfriend's house. The weekends change complexion. In the summer, people hold their weekends so sacred, they don't plan anything. But in the winter, they really do want to go and spend a little bit of time with their friends while the sun's up. So having brunch is a great thing to do. I personally am partial to the omelet bar. I have a few breakfast makers. We still only use one microwave, but we just have the omelet bar set up where they can choose what they're going to put inside their omelet. And we make them one at a time. It only takes 2 minutes, right? And if you got a couple of them, you can have somebody making theirs while the other one's cooking. And now that we've got like that new Great Master is fantastic for an omelet bar, because we used to like grate the whole thing with the Great Master, but now they can like grate the cheese as they go. This lady might want pepper jack, and the next lady might want cheddar, and the next lady might want mozzarella. And so, she's literally going to grate it right onto her omelet. And of course, they're going to use the chop and prep, and there's the knives are there. They just have the ability to make whatever they want. And if they want something sweet, they can use the breakfast maker to make that 2-minute French toast, or they can make cinnamon rolls or whatever. And so just kind of focusing on the breakfast maker, but having those other prep products is very powerful. And the other reason this is good is because even if you've got somebody who doesn't like to cook in the microwave, she can't help but notice all the prep products, right? She's going to have her hands on all of those things. And so if you've got women like that in your life, remember, it's not just about the plastic that we use to cook and store, because there's many women out there now that are like thumbing their nose at plastic. We still have amazing prep products. So no matter who they are, there's something in that catalog for them. And so a brunch demo is a great way for them to see that. Another thing is having bringing treats wherever you go. Now, I was thinking originally, when I made this up months ago, I was thinking really about when you go to work and, when you go to a friend's house. And I know I'm always bringing stuff in Tupperware, right? I don't work outside the home outside of Tupperware now because I'm a business leader. But when I first started, I did work as a medical assistant, and it was fun to bring stuff in Tupperware. It was really fun to have something come in and people would be like, wow, is that Tupperware? Yep. It certainly is Tupperware. And so, you can't help but notice what people are bringing things in. I would also make things at work. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I made a cake in the stack cooker because it stunk up the whole place. I mean, like, everybody's paying attention when you're in an office and somebody makes a pumpkin spice cake. People are just swarming to the break room, right? So bringing treats and making treats at the office is a great thing, but the cold brew, holy cow. Somebody said a long time ago that this was going to be our hero product, Hero, hero product. And that was the girl in marketing. And I believe that she is correct, because the cold brew is getting us in front of customers that we never would have gotten in front of before. Yesterday, we did a pop-up at a grocery store. We were actually scheduled to do a pop-up outside of a lighting place. It was a little town. The consultant knows the girl who owns the lighting place. We were going to pop a tent up and do cold brew tasting on that corner. But the girl's son got sick, and she had to leave work early, so she was closing the store down. And we were like, well, do we really want to be out when the business isn't even open on that corner? How much traffic will we really get? And Karen said, well, I could ask the grocery store. I'm like, hello, yes. I didn't know that was an option. She's like, well, I didn't really think that they'd say yes, but I'll ask them, since we have it planned. So she called this little grocery store. Not only did they say yes, they said, it's really windy. You probably don't want to set your tent up. Why don't you just come under the awning? Shut up. So they've got the brick awning, right? It used to be a Kroger, and now it's owned by somebody else. And we're out there with a table, and we've got our cold brew set up. And who's not going to say yes to just a sampling of cold brew? And what we would say to them wasn't, would you like to sample cold brew? Because we tried that at the beginning of doing these things, and it doesn't really work. What we said instead was, we're not selling anything today, but we'd love it if you try our new cold brew. And that got folks to come over and sample the cold brew. So we had some coffee, of course, that was already brewed. We had a couple of different syrups out, a couple of creamers. And this one actually that you're seeing here is not the cold brew from yesterday. Yesterday we had 4 flavored creamers and none of the syrups. So we had 4 flavored creamers, the cold brew, some cups. We did have the counterscapes out, the ones that hold the sugar and the cinnamon, the dry ones. We did have the tilt and pours out, even though there was nothing in them. And then we had at one end of the table, we had the spiralizer because it's on special, and we felt like that was a really good thing to be able to get people's hands on a product. And I strongly recommend that you always have a spiralizer on a table if you're doing a party or a vendor event, because people want to play with it. So we had the spiralizer with some zucchini, and we had the chop and prep out as well. So we were taking the little nubs that are left over from the zucchini when you spiralize and throwing them in the chop and prep and then processing them. So we were able to kind of show both of those products. It's very clean. Zucchini doesn't smell. It cleans up very easily with a Clorox wipe. So we were able to wipe things down in between customers. And what a really great way to do this. So that was good for a pop-up, but we're also bringing the cold brew into doctors' offices, into dentist offices, into any office space that they're willing to let us into. And so the way we started doing that was quite simply just asking our friends, hey, you work in an office, can I bring coffee in for you guys one afternoon or one morning? Hey, you work in an office, I know you guys hit the wall about 2 o'clock. If you want, I'll bring the cold brew in. I really want people sampling it. We go in and we bring the survey sheets and we bring the cold brew in. Are we selling the cold brew? 100% we are. Are we booking in homes? Yes, we are. Are we booking office parties? Yes, we are. So all of this has been fantastic because the cold brew is an icebreaker for us. It allows us in the door. And then, of course, we're bringing a handful of other products there because we're there, right? We're not going to just show up with our cold brew, nothing else. We've got cold brew in large water bottles. One cold brew fits nicely in a large water bottle, so we've got a couple of those, and we're bringing a handful of other products that just complement the display, if you will. We had a couple of red That's bowls at the last office one. We had those measuring cups and spoons, not that we needed them for anything, but they looked pretty on the demonstration table. And so it was just a matter of basically getting people to try the cold brew, but see the other products as well. And of course, it's a talking point because they're standing there drinking the coffee and the catalogs are there. You can even call it something if you want. You can call it catalogs and cold brew. You know, just let them know it's catalogs and cold brew. I'm going to bring catalogs, but I'm also going to give you free cold brew, right? And so it's a really, really, really good icebreaker. If you guys were at Jubilee, somebody did a training. I didn't get to see it, but I heard somebody did a training called Cookies and Catalogs, where she would just bring in cookies and catalogs. She'd call offices and say, I chose you for cookies and catalogs this month. And she would bring in cookies. And of course, she would not bring homemade cookies because some of them would not eat them because they didn't know her. But I love the cold brew and catalogs even more because they can sample it right with you there when you're there. Okay, number 9 is drag your bag everywhere. We have some great mobile office bags now, and if you don't have these yet, you probably have something. You've probably picked up a no time to waste bag by now because those were out for a few weeks, or you've got some kind of Tupperware tote bag. Drag your bag everywhere and have things in that bag, because when the conversation starts, sometimes it's not just about handing them a catalog or handing them a brochure. Sometimes you have the ability to pull a product out of there and say, oh, yeah. When she says, do you work for Tupperware? You can say, oh my goodness, of course I work for Tupperware. I love, love, love it. How long has it been since you've seen Tupperware? And they tell you it's been a long time. And you say, you know what? I bring my bag everywhere because we got so many fantastic things. Let me show you one of my favorites. And you could pull your chop and prep right out and show it to her. If you're really gutsy, bring some almonds or something that you can throw into your chop and prep so you can show her how it works. It's a really good icebreaker to be able to say, this is different than what you remember Tupperware to be. This is a different kind of product than you remember Tupperware to be. We had a guy from the military come up to us at our last event yesterday, and he said, I have lots of Tupperware. And I said, do you have a lot of plastic or do you have a lot of Tupperware? And he said, well, you know, Tupperware is Tupperware. And I said, okay, well, actually plastic is plastic, but Tupperware is very unique. So you're probably thinking that every container you have is Tupperware, but it's probably just plastic. And he said, oh yeah, you're probably right. And then we started the conversation, of course, as to everything else that Tupperware has. It's everything in me not to be like, you don't have all kinds of Tupperware, you got all kinds of Rubbermaid, right? But I had to say very nicely, very tactfully instead, because people do use the word Tupperware generically for plastic, and we are not the same as every other plastic that's out there. And the line is not just about plastic containers anymore. So it's important that we are out there and we're screaming that from the rooftops. Facebook is important, of course. Hopefully you all have VIP groups. This is very important. It's important to periodically remind people that you have a VIP group. You know, I mean, I've been doing this a long time and still going into a big month. I just, you know, just back in May, I posted, how did I word it? If you're not part of my VIP group, we're going into a really big month. So, you know, comment here if you want to be added to it. I was amazed at how many people that I actually knew that had nothing to do with Tupperware that still were not on the VIP page, because I've offered it to them many times. But you know what? People get a lot of notifications. A lot of things comes up on your feed when you go into Facebook, and so they might not have noticed it, right? So make sure that you are inviting people periodically. I'm not talking like every 3 months, but you know, do it now and then check back about 6 months from now and ask again, and in 6 months check again, and make sure that everybody that really wants to be on the page is on the page. There's lots of different graphics out there. I think I pulled this one from Tina Blair's Tupperware catalogs or brochures site, okay? And it's just as a graphic. I think that one of you is on the phone, so you probably can't see it, but it just basically says, I have a Tupperware business and I'm so excited, super duper happy, love it, ready to rock. It's rock it like a star. And then it says, you can help me get things amped up by, and it says, you know, invite me to share a recipe with you and some friends, join my team, ask to see a catalog, or refer me. And then you could put right on here when you post this, if you'd like to be added to the VIP group, let me know. So it's a great graphic, and then it allows you to see where their interest lies. Okay, and then I have a couple of bonus ideas that kind of came to me afterwards, and I don't really want to call them bonus ideas because they're kind of basic, but I don't know that they're surprising to you, but I think it's important that we visit them anyway. Of course, Facebook parties. I want to mention Facebook parties because you know what? Facebook parties are not, they're not self-sustaining. You don't just pop it out there and hope that for the best, hope everybody comes on. It takes a lot of follow-up with your host. It takes, you would run a Facebook party the same way you would run a catalog party in the event, in the respect that you make sure that she has catalogs and flyers. You still want to encourage her to be showing those catalogs and flyers off. You still want to babysit that event page or that group page and make sure that there's lots and lots of engaging posts, things that are encouraging the guests to actually engage with you. And so Facebook parties are a really great way to go, and it's something that if you're not comfortable with, you definitely want to get some training on, because there certainly is a wrong way to do Facebook parties. I'm not going to say that there's a right way, because there's so many different ways that can be right, but there's definitely a wrong way. And I think that a lot of folks think that Facebook is just going to, it's just going to be this great way for people to go out and post a couple things and the sales are just going to come in. And that's really not the way it works, okay? So Facebook parties are one bonus idea. Another is a retro party. I've talked a lot about how far Tupperware has come and how we've evolved. And sometimes the best way to really address that is by hosting your own vintage Tupperware party, or your own what's that word that just escaped me that I just said, your own retro Tupperware party. And you just invite people to bring the oldest piece of Tupperware that they have. And, maybe even they get a bonus ticket if they bring an old recipe. And I tell you, I was at one of these, a hostess of mine hosted this, and one lady brought a bologna salad. I don't know if you remember this, but I don't think I've seen bologna salad since the 70s, so I totally forgot that. A couple different ladies brought Jell-O in the mold, because that was, very big back then. Some lady brought ambrosia salad because that was a really big thing back then. So it was really kind of fun to see the recipes that people brought and the old dated Tupperware that they had. But it was super, super fun anyway with all of that. But then for me to just focus on the new Tupperware, like, did I talk about Wonderlier bowls? No. Did I talk about bowls at all? No. Talked all about all the new things, how, Tupperware has just reinvented itself, and it continues to do that. And it was a really good show. So I would recommend that. And if you don't have somebody who's willing to host it for you, do it yourself. Do it at your own place. Say I'm hosting a retro Tupperware party, and let them know that they're going to get tickets for different things, for bringing a retro product, or bringing a vintage product, and bringing an old recipe, or even dressing. I had a lady do one of these vintage parties, and everybody literally dressed for it. It was crazy. I didn't think they would, but then when she told me they were going to, I realized I had to dress for it, which was crazy. And then when I got there, that hostess so got into it that she had gone to the thrift store and she bought like strands of fake pearls, and she was really crafty, and she made these aprons for people, the way aprons used to be, with like the ruffles around the top and the ruffles around the side and the ruffly ties and stuff. So she had aprons, and she had pearls, and she had little pearl earrings, and it didn't cost her a lot of money. And she had it set up with where they could make cosmopolitans, the cosmopolitan drinks, which was super fun. And so she really embraced it, and it was super, super, super fun. So, there's folks out there that sometimes might have not said yes to a standard show, but they like to do things that are fun like that. So, so get in touch with that and be creative with that, and give your customers an opportunity to be creative with it too. You find that you might have people that never would have wanted to host, but now they do. Okay, I'm ending this presentation with the Confident Start program because, again, it's really designed originally for the new consultants. But, So it is so important as a new consultant that you're focused on this Confidence Start program, because my goodness, this is the way, right, to build your kit without spending any money at all. And so since new consultants really get one shot at this, it's so important to keep it in front of them. So if you're an existing consultant on this presentation, remember this, that you have to keep this right in front of your new consultants the whole time, because you don't want them to squander the opportunity that they have to earn all these products and even the cookware or an iPad at that top level. Okay, so that is what I have for you tonight. Your journey ahead hopefully looks a little bit brighter and a little bit different for you right now, because you have some ideas now. You hopefully are inspired a little bit to go out and try something that maybe you haven't done before and put some of these practices into place. But I invite you to think big. Think about how you can impact your business with these ideas, and just take one or two things. Just a couple of little steps will make a big difference in your business. And of course, don't wait. Jump on this right away. It's 10 o'clock now, so don't be calling anybody right now at 10 o'clock. But feel free to make your game plan for tomorrow so that in the morning you will hit the ground running. Okay, I want to thank you guys for coming on tonight. And I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording, and then you guys can ask me questions, okay? Give me 1 second.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Oh, I'm not ending the meeting. I'm actually ending recording. It's going to take me a hot second to figure this out.